so not like real mice when they're next to real mice.
I'll come on to that one later on, Freya. I'll throw your factual up in your face.
Nice. But particularly the effects when it's the transition from human into mouse, I just love the kind of facial prosthetics that they've done. That's really horrible. If anything, I forget the Grand High Witch and her, horrible nose and gin.
I've been trying to for the last 30 years, darling.
Do you want therapy?
I had it.
But the actual kind of really grotesque kind of, bits in between mouse and human, that's what kind of, makes me a bit shivery.
Well, it's all very grotesque, but even a bit more so than it should be for a kids' film. But
that's what Roald Dahl did best was,
Yeah, but again,
That's
some
why
of the effects are really pretty freaky. And again, what I'm saying is like around the same sort of time, a film like Arachnophobia, which is considered to be a kind of horror film.
Yeah.
Almost. It's an Anne Boleyn horror film.
Yeah.
That was, they were trying to get that to be, in the UK, a 15.
Yeah.
Now, it ended up being a PG.
Yeah.
But they had to make cuts to it.
Right.
In The Witches, there is a couple of cuts, which I'll talk about later on. But in all seriousness, the result that we see on screen in this PG film, it's freaky.
It is freaky, and it is, grotesque.
It's horrible.
And I mean,
it's almost a body horror film.
It is.
In fact, it is a body horror film.
Well, it is, yeah. That's absolutely
I
true.
would pair this, if we wanted to have a double bill, I'd say let's watch this and The Fly, or this and Society,
Yeah, I agree. I'm not...
Bloody horrible.
I do agree with you on that. And, it has kind of people stomping on...
Yes.
Mice/humans.
And you see splatter.
You see, maybe green splatter, but still splatter. And also the main character, Luke, when he's a mouse, he gets the end of his tail chopped off. Yeah. There's a lot.
The extreme close-up of the Gran's finger, or lack of.
Yeah,
she just got bent back.
Yeah.
We see it a lot of this film.
Yeah, but the close-up is like, she's had her finger cut off. But, it's got a lot of kind of really grim stuff in it. But I think, that's what Roald Dahl did.
Yeah, okay. I mean, in the books, especially something like, is it George's Marvellous Medicine?
Yeah.
And The Twits?
Yeah.
Twits is actually my favourite book, which I'll come on to that as well. I've got so much to come on to. They're particularly grim.
Yeah.
But again, in something like Charlie and Chocolate Factory or Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory, when the kids have You Can't See Me Do the Bunny Ears disposed of.
Yes.
Bunny ears ended. It's not that gruesome.
No.
This is gruesome.
You're right.
So, yes. Let's talk... We've always spoken about effects. Let's talk about a few inappropriate things. Where do we start? Again, we watched it yesterday. Spoilers ahead. Let's say one thing. Number one, the men in the conference room. I'm not sure it's inappropriate, but it's you could have at least had a shave on some of them.
So there are, in the conference hall full of witches...
they've all removed their wigs.
The witches are bald, naturally, in this world. And, they all take their wigs off. And a lot of the witches are very clearly men who've been stuck in a dress. And it is so funny.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at men in dresses in general. I think, more power to you, of course. But in this... they look like the blokiest blokes.
Yeah, there's proper stubble on some of them.
Yeah.
And, it's like, I'm so glad none of them had, a talking line, because it's like, Grand High Witch, Grand High Witch, Grand High Witch. That's what it'd be like. It's be like,
but yeah, it is...
Yeah, said Reg.
It's clearly they thought, well, why bother? Why are we bothering getting all these extras into their bald caps? We might as well
I wondered if it was a bit like, did you ever hear about the picture of the girl in Home Alone?
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
in order not to upset the girl or
Yeah.
anybody, they got, I think it was the producer's son,
Yeah.
and put him in a wig.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
it was supposed to be like an ugly girlfriend,
Yeah.
wasn't it? So they didn't want to do that to an actual little girl.
Yeah, I wonder if it was something like that. In fact, I'd probably imagine it's something like that.
I think they just thought, well, why should we bother getting all of these actual women into bald caps? Let's just get some bald blokes,
Yeah, sure.
you know?
What did you find inappropriate about the film?
So, Rowan Atkinson.
Oh, right, okay. I really like Rowan Atkinson.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But he plays...
He's great.
He is brilliant.
Blackadder.
Yeah. He's
Love it.
he's so great. He's so dry.
Not the 9 o'clock news. Oh, just Bean.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so many things. I love Rowan Atkinson. Anyway, go on. You think he's inappropriate? As Mr. Stringer?
Yes, so he plays the hotel manager, and there is a scene. There's a few inappropriate bits with him.
Yes.
And there's a scene where he's just come out of one of the rooms with one of the maids.
Yeah.
And the maid freaks out because she's seen a mouse. And the other maid says, "Is she sober?" And he replies, "Yes, of course she is. I've been with her all afternoon. I mean, you know," and they've obviously been shagging. Yeah?
To put it bluntly.
To put it bluntly, they've been shagging, and that's quite obvious as an adult that's what that situation is. But then later on, there's a scene where the chef gets the mouse, Luke Mouse, gets in his trousers, and the trousers come off, and the manager, Rowan Atkinson, is holding the trousers, and he says, "There's not much in there."
Yeah.
It's like, it's a small willy joke. So that is, but Disney do it. I'm sure Pixar do it as well.
Yeah. Disney have done it really bad.
There probably isn't a children's film out there that doesn't put a joke in for the parents.
Oh, God, just look at some of the Shrek films.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
It's almost become a staple of a kids' film these
Exactly.
days. What about, throughout this film when we were watching it, there were a few times when me and you just looked at each other to be like, the hell is going on? Let's mention the final bit where he's a mouse.
Yeah.
Luke is a mouse, and he's in fire station, the real Ghostbusters fire station.
Yep. So they're back at home and settling into life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And poor Jason Fisher, who was a mouse, not in real life, but he was a mouse, and he turns back into a boy in what I can only describe as highly inappropriate because he's naked. And it doesn't hide much.
No, there's just a shot where he's kind of glowing and launches across the room. And there's
you see lower than a midriff, and it's like, bloody hell, come on.
There's a brief glimpse, and it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, there's that scene in the Simpsons movie.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, which always like, oh, I don't want to see that.
No, I just,
With
I don't
Bart,
want to see
no.
Bart Simpson's little wiener.
I
don't really want to see anyone's little wiener.
No, not really. It's not up there with my things to do today.
Yeah, that was... But then I suppose, it was less of a kind of thing.
It was a different time.
Yeah. But, certainly that caught me off guard. It was like, what? Really?
Yeah, it is weird. And whilst we're talking about it, actually, the young lad, Luke...
Yes.
Was played by a kid called Jason Fisher.
Yes.
You recognised him, didn't you?
Yes.
All right. What did you recognise him from?
I wasn't sure, actually. It's just, he was familiar.
I can tell you.
Okay.
He was one of the Lost Boys in Hook.
Ah.
Yes. He was also Steve Martin's son in Parenthood.
Ah.
And that's all the films he's been in.
Oh, really?
Hasn't done any TV.
Huh.
Nothing.
That's
he
very
just
interesting.
Stopped. And then let's talk about Bruno, who was played by the wonderfully named Charlie Potter.
Oh.
Do you know what? I hated him.
Yeah, he's not good in
really
this,
annoying.
Is he? Yeah.
And he kept repeating like the same kind of joke all the way through. It's like, oh, we've got cats at home.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, yeah, get over it.
That's not his fault though.
No, but it's just, I know he's a young actor, and it was like just poorly delivered. In fact, I will just end this on by saying that Charlie Potter, this is his only film. He's now a barrister.
Oh. Well, good for him.
Well done, him.
Yes.
I'm going to say, I don't think this was a very well acted film.
Okay.
I thought Angela Houston was good. I thought Rowan Atkinson was good.
Yeah.
Apart from like comedic roles from Bruno's mum and dad, played by Bill Patterson, who's a Scottish actor, plays Fleabag's dad.
Yeah.
Is in a really creepy old BBC show called Sea of Souls, and was also in Good Omens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
That is
I think
right.
so. Yeah.
And also Brenda Blethyn, who I thought was in loads of stuff, and she really actually isn't.
Oh, okay.
But I know that name so well. Apart from Angelica Houston, Rowan Atkinson, and the parents who are just doing comedic roles. Oh, and Jane Horrocks.
Yes.
I love Jane Horrocks.
Yeah.
She hasn't aged. She's like
No.
Paul Rudd. She hasn't aged at all.
That's true. She's adorable and still is adorable.
Yeah, in this she played Miss Irvine.
Yes.
I thought everybody else was a crap actor.
Really? I liked the grandma, Helga.
I didn't like her at all.
Played by, is it May Zetterling?
Yeah,
Yeah. I really like her.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
The only thing that I found fascinating about her was that she was an older woman that had long hair. In all seriousness, you don't see many older women with long
Smokes a
hair.
cigar.
You really don't. No, I just didn't like the acting. I didn't like the camera shots. Mm-hmm. The camera shots were all very weird and kind of gave me a headache. I only really like the effects and Rowan Atkinson, if I'm completely honest.
Well, fair enough.
But Rowan Atkinson, I'd still rather watch Mr. Bean than this. So, just you know. But let's go on something positive, shall we?
Okay.
What is your favourite Roald Dahl film and book?
Ooh, crikey.
Crikey! Is that for our Australian viewers?
Yes.
Viewers? Listeners?
Viewers.
We'll do a video one day. One day. But yes, crikey!
What a question.
Flaming galah. Sorry, I've just got Australia in my head.
Stop.
Nay, but I'm going to stop now.
My favourite film.
We are
Matilda.
Matilda.
Yes.
I've never seen it.
It's great. You should watch it.
Is that is the one with Dan DeVito in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And my favourite book, I couldn't possibly.
Why?
I just can't choose. Maybe,
don't have to be so standoffish. Come on.
Probably George's Marvellous Medicine.
Really? Okay, cool.
Or The Twits. Or I don't know.
Right. Okay.
I'd say George's Marvellous Medicine.
George's Marvellous Medicine.
How about you?
Favourite film?
See, it's not that easy.
Right. So I'm going to say the BFG, but not the Steven Spielberg one.
The original animation.
Yeah, the 80s or 90s one with David Jason as the BFG.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
That is great. I do love that. My favourite book is exactly the same as you. It's either George's Marvellous Medicine or The Twits. I think I'd probably lean more on George's Marvellous Medicine.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
yeah, it's good. I never saw the one with Dustin Hoffman that's taught us backwards.
Oh yes, Ursio Trot or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I always wanted to see that because the book's really. Is it the book? Oh, it was a short story, wasn't it?
I think so. We'll have to investigate that because I agree. I am not familiar with it.
I know. I'm sure I've read it because I know it's really lovely.
Yeah.
But I can't remember if it's a short story. That's going to bug me. I'm going to have to Google that.
We'll find out.
Yeah. But yes, so George's Marvellous Medicine, my favourite book. BFG, old one, favourite film.
I think certainly, at least if you're from England and probably elsewhere, Roald Dahl has a special place.
Well, we've got obviously Hardly Paranormal, American Geezers and Geysers. I haven't asked them if they're fully aware of Roald Dahl. I would imagine they are.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I mean, well, but, you know, if not the books, then the films, at the very least.
But I was talking to somebody from New Zealand, and they didn't know Roald Dahl. They knew the films,
Yeah.
but they didn't know Roald Dahl books.
Interesting.
So that was like, oh, okay.
Well, you'll have to let us know, everyone, if